November 17, 1979. While the NATO offensive has slowed down, packed reinforcements from Poland are about to turn the situation around. In Saxony, the German 29th Panzer Brigade is surrounded and tries to resist long enough to be rescued by Allied units. Surrounded elements of the Panzer Brigade are entrenched around this island. They are defending outposts that cannot be held very long in front of Soviet attacks. You'll have to reinforce them quickly. But you won't be able to deploy any additional troops as long as you haven't secured a way in for the reinforcements. Remember, all key positions must be in your hands when the retreat order is given. The Leopard 2 is one of your best cards in this battle, with its strong armor and its powerful gun. However, you have to keep them away from ATGM. The Bo 105P and the AH-1 are anti-tank helicopters able to move quickly from one front to another. Be aware that they only carry a limited number of missiles. You may also rely on Panzer Grenadiers and the Marder 1A1, which are your first line of defense. Infantry is efficient while entrenched in buildings or woods. You will have to defend many places at the same time. Cold blood and speed are the keys to success.
What's up? This is Tactic Talisman, and we are playing Wargame European Escalation. This is the Fatal Air campaign, and this is the third mission, Der Kessel. And this mission is a beast. I replayed this at least 3 times. It was so hard to beat again. Like I say, I played through the whole campaign once. This is just kind of a replay, kind of a nostalgic let's play, I like to call it. But this mission is so hard. You get out of position, you get distracted. Everything that you can think imaginable is going on and happening. You are micromanaging at least 4 or 5 strategic points, which you can't just casually defend them, keep them on the other side of the river, just fight. This isn't a point battle. You have to hold those positions. You cannot move. And so it makes for an incredibly difficult fight. The logistics are very, very long. You've got long travel times for your trucks. You've got a lot of positions that you need to not just fortify, but continue to refortify as this game starts to progress. So we're just going to get right into it here. I've already started moving all my troops out and getting them into position. I don't necessarily abandon my rear positions, but I do move my tanks and my troops forward to these forward positions, because that's where the fighting is going to be taking place. That's where I need most of my troops. Getting things hidden in the weeds and hiding out of the way and ready to fight. This is going to be just hold out, last stand type thing here. So just getting some of my troops in position and getting recon. I think the biggest advantage that you can take advantage of in this fight, in this mission, is recon. It's hard to see, and if your tanks can't see, they can't blow anything up. So you need to get some recon out on the field, out to these outer positions, and really sighting in and being able to fire and fight. The next big thing after recon is logistics. You need to feed these guys ammo. They're going to be out there fighting, and they're holding positions. These troops can't just jump in the carriers and come back for more ammo. They've got to stay out there and wait for the next wave of troops to come. So you've got to have them refueled and reloaded as fast as you can. You've got to keep those trucks moving. So we've cruised over. We've caught this position here. We're just gonna bring in a ton of stuff and fortify your position. One thing that's easy to do on this mission is to not bring in enough tanks, not fortify enough. You can just spend all of your points as fast as you can. You don't need them for anything. They're not used to win the battle. So just pour on the tanks. I mean, just constantly need reinforcements rolling in. Troops moving out of this position. This position usually gets heavily attacked throughout the mission. So you just keep the troops pouring in, fortifying your positions, getting more tanks, troops all over. So we're going to get some of the leopards up into position and use those, take advantage of those. And then you'll notice what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get a small group together, and I'm actually going to take out the, or just secure at least the command position on the other side of the river. That position is very dangerous. Where I have this position, they can easily flank me. They can flank my fortifications across the river, and so that position has got to be destroyed in order for me to have a fighting chance in this fight. So I cruise over there in a bit once my troops all get moved in, and just take them out, take them over. So tons of things to micromanage in this. Just get your tanks, just feed them bullets, and let them do what they do best. So it's another example of you just, much like the first mission, Ride of the Black Horse, where you got your troops in position and they're just holding a line, fortifying, and all you had to do is feed them bullets. This is the same thing, except incredibly strung out and a lot more complicated. So I'm just going to get my troops in position. I get a few tanks at each fortification point that I'm trying to hold, and then I'm just going to sit and I'm going to feed them and make sure that they have what they need. So we'll just keep at it here and get them the trucks, supplies that they need. Meanwhile, bringing in as many tanks as possible. Like I said, do not hesitate to push your command, your points down to 0. Just keep flooding those zones with extra troops, reinforcements, supplies. I mean, just keep moving. So here's kind of some of the first waves starting to move in, and shooting some of our guys. I'm going to bring in my helicopters, get a few more reinforcement helicopters. Again, I talked about it a little bit in the last mission, Ambush Alley. The second you send a strike team in, I'm getting 2 more of those. I sent in my helicopters to fight, and I bought 2 more. And so just kind of you're sending them in. You're hoping that they don't die, but they're going to get shot down. Somebody's going to attack them, so I immediately get more reinforcements of that type, so that my line, my strike teams are always set up and ready to go with the right combinations and things. So yeah. So we come in, helicopters shoot a little bit. They're holding really well. We're feeding them fuel. They're getting turned back. They're getting routed. So swing the helicopters over to this attack and fortify that. That position on the bottom there, it holds very well with those leopards up on the hill. And if you just keep feeding those leopards fuel, or well, not fuel, but rearming them, getting them more weapons, they're going to be able to hold. The trick is just you got to get some troops down in the weeds, down in the bottom of that swamp, down in that bottom position to hold. So, checking the mini-map, I mean, it's quiet. We don't have any assaults going on. Do not underestimate the NPCs in this mission. There's going to be tons of units flooding the map. Just keep pushing, refortifying everything no matter what. Don't hold back or hesitate at all just because it doesn't seem like there's any attacks going on. Get your logistics trucks back out and don't mess around trying to expand or try and take anything. Just hold those command points as long as possible. So I got my couple more helicopters in, got those in position. Getting troops out in the weeds. It's kind of tricky holding this delta, this reinforcement position. So I really just flood this whole area with tanks and troops and get them over in the forest zones there and out in the weeds so that they're protected. So I never stop reinforcing. I mean, it's just always more units, more units, more units. Bring in more, and constantly keep the logistics trucks driving back and forth. So we've got a good handle, good position, and I think the other key is, because we've got a good fortified position and we're fueled up and fortified, is we destroy the enemy vehicles in a timely manner, I guess is the best way to say it. Because those troops are down, my men aren't out there fighting for prolonged periods of time or getting destroyed. So just quick response, destroy the enemy vehicles, and then you're able to repair up and get ready for the next attack. If you get behind, or you don't have any units on the point, then you're going to get overwhelmed, and they're going to start flanking you, and you're going to be out of position. And when the timer hits, I mean, this is a very quick battle. Timer hits, and you're going to be stuck and totally out of position. So you keep the reinforcements flowing and the logistics flowing. So with helicopter support in between, command points, just pouring in. Keep the reinforcements coming, and just don't ever stop reinforcing some of these positions. And moving out, making sure you have your tanks fueled up, everything, ammo fueled up and everything. The kicker to this game, the kicker to Wargame, is the logistics effect. It really means the difference between winning and losing in this game. If you've got a supply truck there that's going to repair armor, it's going to repair or refuel, reload, and give you that edge. It's easy to be out far away with a tank, and they're out of ammo, and if they're out of ammo, they're basically just a big driving piece of metal that's just going to get blown up. So logistics is the kicker to this game, and in this mission in particular, you just got to keep those trucks pulling and moving. I think by the end of this, I have used up these forward operation bases. The FOBs are completely empty. I've moved that much logistics out to them, and they've used it all up as they've been fighting off wave after wave after wave of enemy fire. So, and it's an important thing to know. They're trying to attack my my reinforcement position, which would severely cripple and hamper my ability to reinforce all of the positions. So, like I say, I've got tons of things out in the weeds here, fighting and holding back anything. They're coming in at all sides, trying to flank out this position. Big columns of tanks coming at me, and I just keep at it. So we got some bigger tanks here that they're bringing at us. The T-80s are definitely something to be worried about and keep an eye on. So I'll keep my helicopters on those and try to take them out. Those T-80s are heavily armored. They have long-range weapons, and they can destroy anything I have very quickly. So I get the helicopters on those and blast them there. So helicopters out of ammo, get those back. Helicopters are really another great response. Obviously, you got your logistics on, but helicopters are a great response in this position. So just keep at them. But just holding here, taking out these waves of units, trying to take out our reinforcement base and keep them off. And again, the reinforcement zone is the one position where I don't have all of my troops dogpiled on the place that we're trying to hold and fortify, the position we're trying to hold and fortify. I've got them spread out. Like I say, you saw all those tanks and different things. Moving in, we just hold those and keep them off with kind of scattered amounts of troops. So you'll notice I just brought in a backup emergency plan, a couple Huey paratroopers, full paratroopers. We're at about 7 minutes to the end of to the end of the game, and so sometimes they'll overwhelm us, and they bring in a ton of tanks. NPCs get smart, and they overwhelm one of the zones, and when that happens, we need to re-fortify that position. And so I have those, like, I don't know, I guess you'd call it like a shock trooper, just a super quick response unit, helicopter paratroopers. We can get those out on the ground and recover that zone before the end of the game happens. So I've got those guys sitting tight. They'll be flying in a second, but they'll be helping us out to hold the position. Again, I just wanted to mention, spend all your points. Don't let them pile up. Just keep bringing in the tanks. Just spend them all and get whatever you need in on these positions to fortify, because you will need every bit of it. And with that recipe, you'll be able to hold these out. These positions are they're not difficult to hold. It's just the sheer amount of holding. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. There's more fallback positions that you're supposed to hold, but if you just keep troops out, transitioning through those zones, you can hold the inner ones. They're not a hard problem. It's the outer ones that you've got to hold. And I don't think I lose any positions during this game, but that's another thing. Don't make sure you have enough troops out there. Make sure you're reinforced and have enough logistics, because retaking one of these positions is a pain. You don't have time. It's too hard to defense. You can keep these troops in position, under cover. They can fire, and the logistics can just come out, park, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to micromanage them. If you're having to mount an offensive against one of these positions to try and retake it, offenses take a lot more of your focus and your time. You're going to have to be micromanaging an attack, trying to keep things in position, try and keep things in the weeds, keep them covered, and with that, you're going to forget about your other positions. You're going to fall behind on your logistics. Your other positions are going to run out of ammo, and they're going to get overrun. So you gotta hold the positions at all costs. I mean, this is all or nothing. Everything in. Just keep pouring in the troops and just hold it out. So winding up here, there's only 4:30 left on the counter, and we're still pouring on the troops, keeping the logistics moving, and those trucks are moving hard because there's a lot of fighting going on. The troops that are initially the like AGTM, or is it ATGM? ATGM teams are the kind of anti-tank teams. They do wonders if they're undercover and you just keep feeding them missiles. They don't start out with very many missiles, and they have trouble fighting. So once they're out of missiles, they can't fight tanks. So if you just keep feeding them missiles with your logistics trucks, they can just sit and hold. There's nothing that can take them. Obviously, the NPCs aren't very smart and don't repel the teams. I mean, obviously, this is just a mission. And if you're playing multiplayer, people would counter your combination of the ATG teams, AGTM teams of our rocket launchers. So missions dwindling down. They're still, like I say, we've destroyed the team, or we've destroyed the attackers. There's a lot of tanks sitting out in those fields. We've destroyed them fast enough because our troops have weapons that we're not having to fight several fronts at once. So we can kind of focus down and make sure things get fortified. But towards the end here, it pretty much opens up. There's a ton of troops that come pouring in. Kind of cutting things off as my reinforcements round around the bottom of the map. which saves a lot of time and fuel for the bottom reinforcement zone. They have a couple of their supply trucks. That's always nice. Get those up to my position. Get some more of these trucks out to the positions that need it. This bottom one, I always lose this bottom one. This bottom one's kind of hard to hold. I think it's because it's a little bit further away, a little bit more difficult to fortify and get reinforcements. So I just took 4 Patton's tanks and I just park them out in the zone so that they can't kind of sneak it. I think the big attack comes towards the end, and they always kind of nudge that bottom position out, and they retake it if you just leave some infantry down there. So that's another thing to try if you're getting attacked and pushed out of a zone. Try parking some tanks right on the zone. Troops die a lot easier than tanks. If you park a big bunch of tanks out in the zone, they're not going to be able to just roll over it. So as things have been destroyed, I'm still just pouring on the troops. Even in a minute 30, I just keep pouring in the troops. As you can see, they're going to keep at us and keep attacking as this kind of final battle culminates here with the minute 25 to go on the clock, and they're still pushing in. But like I say, we're holding, especially this bottom position. You can see that those tanks, those leopards up on that hill, are just holding all of these tanks back. You can see the carcasses of the old, or the dead enemies. We just sit and pound them, and they're distracted by stuff down in the hill, or down in the swamps there. They don't take anything, so it's like we're kind of playing tug of war with those supply trucks. Top position, top left is doing good. It's held out. You can see all the tanks and stuff destroyed out there. Another vulnerable position is that far right position across that bridge. It's easy to forget about and easy just to leave those troops over there by themselves, but I get a few reinforcements out to cover them. And I think this map is pretty dynamic. I think the troops will move around, and the NPCs will move around and attack you. So winding down, 20 seconds to go. Just do a quick check to make sure that we're still holding all the positions. And we really just need troops in them, making sure that they don't switch on us. So that is the Der Kessel mission. Mission number 3 of the Fatal Air Campaign. Next mission up is the Allied Mobile Force, and we'll check that out here in just a second. So there it goes. It finally ticked down, and we beat the mission. And front view here. So we'll catch you later.